Hey, what's up, Hustle Buddies? Let me put this on. Hey, what's up, Hustle Buddies? Hope everyone's doing well on this rainy Sunday morning. At least it's rainy in Central Florida over here. So I wanted to go over a few things about like bra prep that I've seen some different, some misunderstanding of information that is out there. So I'm going to go over some bra prepping stuff, a little bit of Q4 information, some general like group stuff. So if you're watching the recording, hey, welcome guys. If you are one of the three people here, Rebecca, Michelle, and Nicole, hey. Um, all right. So I'll kind of get into this, and then if people are watching the recording, then they can go back and get into it. I did want to remind you guys that this is like this group. We want to grow sort of like a positive and uplifting community. I know there's a lot of different groups for Amazon, and a lot of them are great. Something that we felt was a little bit lacking was something that was very intentionally like uplifting and positive at all times. So we're trying our best to keep some of like the negative or snarky comments down, but if you guys could help us, even if you feel the inner snark coming out, I know I feel the inner snark coming sometimes, but try to, keep that to a minimum. It'll make our jobs easier, our life easier, so that we don't have to hide comments or delete things. And if we deleted something from you, it's nothing personal. I don't think that you're a bad person. I'm just trying to help facilitate sort of like a positive group atmosphere. So it's nothing personal if I delete something that you said. I do also want to invite you guys to like invite friends, invite family, anyone who you've sort of said like, oh yeah, I'm trying this Amazon thing, and they're like, wow, that sounds so interesting. Just say, hey, come join this group. There's a lot of cool information in here. Because for the most part, everything that we're putting out is free. I mean, every once in a while we'll do a big paid webinar event like what we're doing tonight, but there's a lot of free information here, a lot of free information in other places as well. But yeah, we just want to sort of build a nice community, and what's a better way of doing that than to have people that are already in the community inviting people that they know. Hey, morning guys, morning. All right, so, and then at the end of this video also, if you guys had any questions, I'm happy to do like a little Q&A. I don't know if there's going to be anything big, but since I'm here, I'm happy to answer some questions if you have them. So if you have questions, drop them in the comment section. All right, so just to kind of reiterate, we're trying to keep the group positive and uplifting. So help us achieve that goal. All that stuff. Invite your friends, invite your family, people who are interested in Amazon. You may absolutely invite them. We're growing like crazy. There's no Amazon group that I know of that has grown this fast. We went from 0 members to about 5,000 members in 45 days. So we must be doing something right for people to be coming here, be getting value, and to be sharing it. So we want to continue that growth. We want to continue just bringing people together and pushing each other towards having successful businesses. So that's important to us. It should be important to you. All right. For bra prepping, there was a huge thread that went down. Most of it happened while I was asleep. It was like 3 a.m. So I don't know if people were awake at 3 a.m. or if maybe they're located in California or something. I'm not really sure. But so there was a huge long thread about some bra prepping things. And there's a little bit of confusion. I'll say there is a number of new members coming in that have quite a bit of knowledge. There's a lot of good advice being given. There's also a lot of advice that's being misinterpreted. There's a few people who I saw, they said, well, Nathan told me to do blah, 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 blah. And they took something I said and then they misinterpreted it a little bit. So I wanted to go over that a little bit. I unfortunately don't have any bra examples because I don't keep my bras in the state that they kept them around. But basically what the post was, if you missed it, what the post was, a person had a bra that they had tried to take the Kohl's sticker off of. Now it was one of those like black tar Kohl's stickers. So the Kohl's sticker sort of half came off, but there's all this black left on. It ripped like the original UPC, all that stuff. And then the person was planning on having Amazon prep that for them. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to be possible, nor is it advisable. Now, I want to reiterate some things that we said. So first, there are 3 different ways that an item can be sort of labeled and prepped. There is the manufacturer barcode. They can use that. It's also called commingling. That's your first option. There is, you can pay Amazon to label and prep something for you. That's your second option. Or you can label it and prep it yourself. That's the third option, okay? Usually you can pretty much do any of those 3. It's up to you to choose. However, there are exceptions. So for example, if you have, let's say, this is like a book game thing for kids, all right? This is nice and neat. There's no price stickers on it. There's nothing big that I had to tear off. I think it took like a little clearance thing off, but it came off nice and clean. And it has a, where is it? There it is. So it has a barcode on it. I could use any of those 3 options. So I could tell Amazon to use the manufacturer barcode on this, and they would just scan that in and commingle it, and that is perfectly acceptable. We don't personally commingle a whole lot of stuff. There's some differing opinions on that, but I want to say what you can do, and then you can decide what you want to do. So you could commingle this. That's perfectly fine and acceptable. You could tell Amazon to label this, and they print out their own little thing. They don't have to prep anything here. It's already good to go, but they would print out their own Amazon label and put it right there. Or you can print out that label for yourself and put it over top. Okay. Now, so everything right there was correct. Now, if you have a bra, and this bra has the black sticky tar and all that stuff, and there is not like a manufacturer barcode that Amazon has access to. Let's say you have a whole box full of that. So you've got 20 bras, 50 bras, whatever it is, all in a box together, and none of them are prepped in any way. It's just you took the sticker off and you put it in the box. So all of them have black tar. None of them are inside poly bags. An Amazon worker is going to pull that out, is going to look at the item, and he will have no clue what that item is. They have quotas that they have to hit. If they can't hit those quotas, they most likely will either do something incorrectly because it doesn't matter to them, or they'll just reject the shipment and it'll go into stranded inventory and they'll ship it back to you because they have, like with the example that was shown, there is absolutely nothing that an Amazon worker could scan to tell which product is which product. They're not going to individually look at what you have in your list and say, okay, 34D ivory colored, okay, that matches this item and this matches that. They're not going to do that. If they can't scan and go, it's not done. So for that situation, you cannot have that item be prepped by Amazon because they don't know what that item is. They're also not going to fix it. Even if they could scan it, they're not going to like perfectly place the label over all the black tar gunky stuff to make it all nice and hidden, and they're not going to put it inside the nice poly bag and get everything nice. They're doing things fast and efficiently. And if it's an item that cannot be done fast and efficiently, it's not going to be done fast and efficiently. It's either not going to be done, period, or it won't be done correctly. Those are your 2 options. And you also, for items like that, you can't commingle it because it's not a nice UPC. If a customer got that and there's this like half black tar, half tag that says Kohl's on it, like I would be mad if I was a customer and I got that. So if that's what you're dealing with, then those first 2 choices are no longer options, and you must label that and package it yourself. Now, Amazon can polybag stuff for you. I don't usually recommend that. Them polybagging something does cost quite a bit. Them just labeling something, that's just a flat 20 cents. But when they start having to do other prep stuff, it does get more expensive. So I wouldn't recommend that. And I definitely don't recommend doing half of the work. So like if you polybag something and then hide the label yourself. So the rule is like the label has to be covered. It can be covered with a sticker or it can be covered with the item itself. So if you have a bra and you, for example, put the UPC inside of the cups, fold the cups in on itself, well, now that UPC is covered so that it applies to the Amazon rules. But if you cover the UPC and then you polybag it, what is that Amazon worker going to look at? They're just going to see a bra inside of a bag. They'll have a list of 20 bras, but there's no way for them to tell what is in that bag. And so it's just going to go to stranded inventory, or they're going to put the wrong sticker on the wrong item because they don't really care. They're just trying to get their quotas done. So yeah, so I wanted to go over that, hopefully clear up a little bit of that bra prepping situation. For an item that looks like how the poster had it posted, there's only one option. You must label that and you must polybag that yourself. You can't have Amazon fix that for you, and you cannot commingle that. Usually you have all three options, but for that specific situation, you can't. All right. Okay, so that was commingling and prep. Invite your friends. Let's try to keep everything positive and uplifting. The last thing on my list was Q4. And then also, guys, if you have any other questions while I'm here, I'm happy to answer other questions that people have. Hey, Dave. Hey, Tamia. I think that's how you say your name, Tamia. Morning, Monica. All right, so the last thing was the Q4 webinar. The Q4 webinar is going to be tonight. The live session is sold out. So if you wanted to watch it live, I'm sorry, you are out of luck. The Zoom, which is the program that we use, unfortunately limits it to 100 participants, and we had 100 participants sign up within about 2.5 hours. It went real fast. So with that said, however, we are still offering the recording of it. So you won't be in the live session, but as soon as it's done being processed on my computer and as soon as I get it posted up in our little private area, if you would like to purchase the recording of it, that it's totally fine. We have an unlimited amount of recordings that we'll send out. But I do want to say that after tonight, so like after the webinar is actually over, we will be stopping all of like the early bird special discounts and all that stuff. So the price will go up some if you wait until tomorrow. It'll still be available, but the price is going to be a little bit higher tomorrow, just so you guys know, so you're not caught off by surprise. So if you want to get it and you want to get it at the discount, you want to get the recording at a discount, I recommend signing up today before 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's when I'm going to be starting and shutting everything off. All right. Awesome. Let me see. Oh, I think I might have a few questions here. All right, Dave, just got approved for my Kohl's card. Just watched your Kohl's Bra webinar, and I'm ready to start this side hustle. Awesome, man. I'm glad you got some value from that webinar. Yeah, I felt like, I mean, we went into depth. It's a lot of stuff we learned over the years. Yeah, some nice tricks. I mean, it's nothing unique to us. There's a lot of people who've done it, but yeah, I'm glad you got some value from that and are actually taking action. So that's great, man. Shelly, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and time. You are welcome, Shelly. Pam, hey Dave, I was just at Target. Hey Dave, my name's Nate. Scanning most of the things could not be found on the app. What does that mean? That means that they do not exist on Amazon. For a beginner, I would say pass. If it doesn't show up in the app, then don't worry about it and scan something else. There are other methods. There are other things that you can do. But for beginners, I'd say practice with low-hanging fruit before you start getting into more advanced stuff, Pam. So if it doesn't pull up, then move on. It means it doesn't exist. For the most part, it means it does not exist on Amazon. Michelle, question. If I remove the barcode and it looks clean, but it still has a little stickies on it, is that okay? Or do I also need to make sure it's not sticky? I'm going to say it depends, Michelle. Personally, we try and cover any imperfection, any stickiness, especially if it's not inside of a poly bag. So I'll give you an example. Like, so let's say this, we took like a clearance sticker off and it had some sticky stuff up here, and this is not inside of a poly bag. When this goes to the Amazon warehouse, well, the Amazon warehouses are kind of dirty and dusty and there's stuff flying around everywhere. So all that dust is going to stick to that sticky part. And then when the customer gets it, there's going to be a really strange, perfectly like rectangular outline of the past clearance sticker that's going to be made of dust and lint and whatever else. So I'll say try to get sticky off. If you can't get the sticky off, then personally what we do is we cover that with another Amazon label. It's okay to have multiple Amazon labels, so we'll just print an extra label and put it over the sticky part. Yeah, that's what we do, but it sort of depends. Shayla, is this work in Canada? Yes, we know a number of sellers who can do retail arbitrage in Canada. One big name, one guy that does it in Canada that we're friends with, his name is Beaver, B-V-E-R. So if you see him, he's a cool guy, real friendly. Look him up on Facebook. Tamia, thank you so much for all the help. Can't wait for my first box to go live. Can you sell a bra if the UPC code ticket fell off and is nowhere to be found? No, I would not advise that, Tamia. So basically in the group, I can give you general guidelines. And then I'm going to try and point people towards the source. So it's great that you're asking me, but try and go to the source, like go to Amazon, because that should be the be all end all. I feel like for the most part, I give good advice, and a lot of other groups give good advice, but it's important for you to read things directly from Amazon. So I would go to Amazon and look up what the requirements are for selling an item in new condition. For us, when we interpret that, when they say it has to be new in box with all of the original like manufacturer, everything with it, I interpret that to mean it has to include the UPC code, and pretty much every other seller that I know interprets it the same way. So I would not advise selling a bra if the UPC ticket fell off. Tabitha, is the Kohl's charge card necessary? It's not necessary. It'll give you usually 30% off your purchase. And if you're not using it, the best you're going to get is occasionally 20% off. So will it function without a Kohl's charge card? Yes. Do I advise doing it without a Kohl's charge card? No, because you just get such a monstrous higher percentage off, and you get it more frequently. Like you'll get 20% off sometimes, but it's much more uncommon for them to run a sale for any payment type. It's almost always for Kohl's charge card users. Monica, while putting my items in inventory, there was a checkbox that said manufacturer barcode, and since this is my first time, I don't know if I should leave that checked. All right, so that's what we went over, Monica. You have three options: manufacturer barcode. It's also called commingle. Those are synonyms. You could check it for Amazon to label and prep the item, or you could check the box for you to label and prep the item. If it's a nice, easy item like this, it doesn't matter. You can choose any option, whatever you want. If there's something weird with it, if there's sticky stuff, if there's residue, if there's an old tag, if there's a Kohl's sticker, all that stuff, you can't pick that option. Even if Amazon says that you can, because they don't know what your product looks like. Tabitha, I saw the coupon say any tender type. So what is the benefit of the card? So when it says any tender type at Kohl's, you can use any tender type, and then there is no benefit. So yeah, so there are some sales that use any tender type, but at least once per month, there is a 30% off sale for Kohl's charge card members. Pam, sorry. Oh, you're good, Pam. My aunt's name is Pam. That's a cool name. Tamia, I bought a Bali by mistake. Can Bali ever be ungated? Yeah, lots of people are ungated in Bali. You might not be yet, but you can either save it and wait until you are ungated and keep requesting it, or you could take it back because you haven't taken the tags off. It's a single item. So that's up to you. Can I sign up for the Kohl's RA class? Yeah, so the Kohl's webinar will be available for about another week and a half or so. And to nag. So if you want to do that, you can go to, here, I'll type it out, hustlebuddies.com/webinars. And that will have both the Q4 and then the Kohl's retail arbitrage class as well. Rebecca Bayron. I have a really hard time calling you Rebecca and not Miss Bayron. Anyone who I've taught with in the past, it's like people on the old specials team. It takes me a while to remember their first names. I just know their last names because teachers. I scan on Scoutify and no item found. Then I scan on Amazon and it said exists, but 0 sellers. Rebecca Bayron, that is an excellent question. If you search in the group for ghosted listings, that's what that is. It's a ghosted listing. Those are fantastic because it means no one else is selling it and you can charge a higher price point and you have no competition. So basically what will happen when no seller offers a product, usually Amazon will kind of delist it and sort of like take the listing down publicly, but it's still privately available. That's why it doesn't show up in Scoutify, but does show up within Amazon servers. To me, I think you had all the checks. Okay. James, for polybagged clothing items, I can print my barcode and put it on the top of the manufacturer barcode, right? Then I should be able to scan my own barcode that I've printed. James, if I'm understanding you correctly, yes. As long as your barcode is scannable through the polybag. So people get worried like, oh, does it need to be inside the polybag? Does it need to be outside the polybag? It doesn't matter. The rule is it needs to be scannable. whether that's inside the poly bag or outside the poly bag. As long as the original barcode is covered either by the item itself or by a sticker, and as long as your barcode is scannable, then you've checked both boxes and you are in the clear. Pam, when scanning, do you scan the yellow clearance barcode or the original? Only the original. The yellow sticker is just for the store and doesn't give you anything. Do you polybag toys in boxes? Do you leave the hangers on for bras? It depends on the toy. Most toys don't need to be polybagged, but it does depend on the toy. If there is exposed cloth or if there's a liquid, then it must be polybagged. And the thing with polybags is it's never the wrong option. Like if you polybag a book, let's say, that's not the wrong option. You don't have to polybag the book, but nothing happens if you do polybag it. So when in doubt, put a polybag on it. As far as leaving hangers on bras, no, we do not leave the hangers on. The stores themselves put the hanger on, so that's not from the manufacturer. I sent a new item in to Amazon with a damaged box. Now I'm concerned that the damaged box might cause me an issue. What do I do at this point? I would probably have Amazon send that back to you because they are pretty clear about what constitutes as a new item and a damaged box. Like if, let's say I'm going to like my nephew's birthday party and I get him like a really cool $50 box of Legos or something like that, and there's a big hole punched in the front of it. When I get it from Amazon, I'm gonna be pissed if that's what I get from Amazon. So if the box is damaged, do not list it as new because it's not new, it's damaged. You can look at the requirements inside Amazon. So again, I want to point you back to Amazon. Just go to Amazon, go to the little search bar and type in like new item criteria or something along those lines, and you'll find it there. How do we handle returns? Very poorly, Ivan. We handle returns very poorly. Our goal in the next 2 to 3 weeks is to get every single return that we've ever gotten either donated or processed and back out the door. I'll say 80% of the stuff that gets returned to us, we can relist it because it still has the tags. There's no damage. It clearly is fine. It can still be sold as new, all that stuff. So 80% of the time we relist it. 20% of the time we have to throw it away or donate it. So, all right, and then I'll have this be the last question from Tamia. One more, sorry, but since you are here, if you are bundling something, say 2 boxes of cakes mix, do you polybag it or can you tape them together and put a do not separate sticker? I personally recommend polybagging it because I think that taping things together looks a little bit tacky. But you can look in the Amazon guidelines as far as like what's required for a bundle. Yeah, that's what I recommend. Personally, I polybag it. But to get the exact verbiage of like what you have to do, then you have to do that. And then Megan, we can't charge a restocking fee because it's FBA. You can only do that if it's FBM. All right, so that's all the questions we're gonna take for now. I appreciate you guys coming to watch our live video. If you missed the very beginning, we have our Q4 webinar is tonight. If you haven't signed up, the live session is full, but you can still get the recording. And we will continue running a sale up until the webinar. After the webinar is done, then the price will jump back up. So if you want to get it, I recommend getting it today. If you've got friends or family that are interested in Amazon, feel free to invite them to the group. This is an open place. We want to invite everyone that's interested. And then lastly, try and stay uplifting and positive. That's sort of why we made this group, because we felt like there wasn't a good uplifting and positive environment. So, all right, guys, that covers my stuff. Have a good Sunday. Have a good weekend. I'll see ya.